is a war. It's happening now. It will decide the fate of humanity. The time to choose sides has come. We are the resistance. We are the info war. You can keep your doctor, firm pledge. It would lower your premium to the cost of a phone bill or cable bill. I don't know, maybe for a whole hotel. And mine has doubled since it went in 6 months ago. Geraldo Rivera was on the show a few months ago. His has tripled, and for that of all of his 6 employees, tripled. And my dad's is more than doubled. And everyone I know, it's at least doubled. Because some it's only gone up 45, 50, 60%, but most people it's more than doubled. So if you average it, it's about a doubling, to be technical. And that's just year one. I mean, this is just going to get better and better. And the reason I raised that is they said, hey, if you don't like Obamacare, you're racist on MSNBC and CNN. And there are no death panels, and none of this is true. We had the bill. And now Obama acts as a dictator, implementing what he wants, where he wants. Oh, unions, you're exempt, but not families. That's the ultimate form of discrimination. While they're talking about discrimination, we don't like it because he's black. Let me tell you, I'd vote for a black man in about half a second if he was like Ron Paul. I could care. I'd love it. It'd be even better because then they couldn't attack him as much. But they would, though. It wouldn't work if they were libertarian or conservative. It is so disgusting when Obama said 2 weeks ago in a Time magazine interview and was other in the New Yorker, similar things that, well, my poll numbers are down because of racism. What? What? And I'm ranting. We got Phyllis Schlafly with us of eagleforum.org. And Ms. Schlafly is like one of the icons of true conservatism in this country, best-selling author, constitutional lawyer. Getting into amnesty, how do we beat it? Where is it? But then we go to the next problem. As you know, your best-selling book's out about it. Doesn't matter. Obama is just legalizing a bunch of the illegals, ordering the courts to let people go in the amnesty courts. He's just doing it by executive fiat to begin with. So where's the Republican leadership beginning impeachment of the president turning the office into a dictatorship?
Well, I hope you saw him on your television screen when he said he has a pen, and he can do whatever he wants to do.
And a telephone.
And it is. And it was so arrogant. It was so condescending to Americans. It was embarrassing if we think we're a self-governing people. And he has changed his own law, Obamacare, I think personally, unilaterally, about 30 times. And he just wants to do whatever he wants to get the Democrats reelected. And I think the only way we can save our country is to elect a majority of conservatives to the U.S. Senate in November and get the right guys nominated in the primary. And it is so important because, for example, if Obama gets another appointment to the Supreme Court, he would rule the country with his nutty ideas for the next 50 years. And we cannot afford that. We need to have enough senators to stand up and say, we're not going to give him any more judges, because some of these, I call them supremacist judges, are as bad as Obama in trying to remake the law and dictate to the American people.
You've been fighting this tyranny for 60-plus years as a constitutional lawyer, but I've studied political elites, I've studied history. Even if you were a corrupt elite, America in prosperity is incredibly profitable. You would rather skim off the top of that big largesse than destroy it and debase it all so you can run it. But tyrants always debilitate everything because they hate individual freedom and they jealously want to shut it down, thus destroying the engine of their own success. But I want to warn the political elite, including the Democrats. You are literally burning down your own house. You guys run the country now, and you have such a long-term hatred of men and of families and of women and of prosperity and of just uprightness. I mean, I've really studied these people, and now I've come around to the understanding that they really do want to screw stuff up. They really are, like Michael Savage said, I think mentally ill. If you disagree with that, tell me, Phyllis. But, I mean, you've been fighting these people for a long time. What is wrong with them?
Well, want power, and they think the way they would get power is to make the American workforce be in competition with the people in the rest of the world. You know, a lot of our products are starting to come from Vietnam, where they work for 28 cents an hour. And I do not think Americans should have to be in competition with people like that. We have clearly a better system, a unique system, a prosperous system, a successful system. That's why everybody wants to come here. And we should let in only people who like our country, obey our laws.
Like Switzerland. I mean, you could have $10 million. They won't let you in unless you have a skill you're bringing. Switzerland, their money only goes up in value. Their crime only goes down. They get better and better and better. Why don't we do what Switzerland did?
That's right, and they just voted down this increased immigration. And that's why they've been able to keep a free and prosperous country. And we should do the same. But the trouble is the media is so much in favor of Obama, no matter what he does. They try to ruin anybody who criticizes him. But Americans have got to speak up. We have a great country. We need to not let anybody in except somebody who wants to honor our country, our flag, our Constitution. And we don't, and you know, the polls are showing, Alex, that the majority of these people coming in think international law should top our Constitution. You got to be kidding. We're not, you and I are not going to let international law trump our Constitution.
That's right, and you have all the polls listed there from the Pew Research, you name it. There's a whole...
Yes, all the ones that everybody else quotes, only they don't seem to quote the part about what they believe on amnesty. But all the polls are consistent in saying that the overwhelming majority of people coming in want bigger government handing out more services.
It's basically like a beautiful ship that's not perfect, but it's the best out there, and you've always envied it, and you finally got on board, and then the Democrats hand you a dynamite to put in the bottom of the ship to sink it, and then you dynamite the ship, and you're sinking, and you're like, I won, I brought down America, instead of just joining with America. There is a real hatred of this country, and I'm sick of it.
There is. There is a hatred of this country, and there's a hatred of the institution of marriage, too. Which I hope I have a new book out on. Yeah,
let's segue into that. Let's segue into the attack on religion, the attack on marriage, Obama's...
Well, my last book is No Higher Power, Obama's War on Religious Freedom. And you can see that everywhere, the people who want to be politically correct. Even the military has done some things like clamping down on prayers and the oath to serve God and country, so help me God. And the superintendents of the public schools they're going after little kids, won't let them mention Jesus or sing a Christmas carol.
Or bring a Christmas card, even though everybody else is allowed to do whatever they want.
Yeah. And it's a real war on the First Amendment. Obama's idea about the First Amendment is you should have the right to go into your church and lock the door and say a prayer where nobody can hear you. And that'll be okay. He's not going to take that away from you.
And by the way, for those that don't know, the First Amendment says Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. It means you don't have a state-run religion, but you could absolutely come to school and you can hand out Christmas cards, you can hand out Muslim material during the lunch break, you can hand out atheist material. As a valedictorian, you can give whatever speech you want and thank God. As a football player, you can, and they know that, and they are persecuting people where they find Bibles in people's bags in public school in Texas and, quote, throw them in the trash and suspend them. This is outrageous authoritarianism.
And, of course, the Founding Fathers and all presidents prior to Obama were quoting their faith and their belief in God all the time, honoring the National Day of Prayer. For example, when Obama gives a Thanksgiving Day address, he makes a whole long list of people to thank, but God didn't make the cut. And he's just trying to eliminate any public mention of God. And our country was built on people believing in God and being religious people and people of faith.
Why is it that collectivists and Soviet types hate God? Is it because obviously the state is God and they don't want any higher power above them?
Yeah, that's right. They want the state to be in control of everything, and we don't. And we've got a proven best country. That's why people want to come here. And it's the most freedom, it's the most prosperity. And Obama has this nutty idea that it really isn't fair that the United States has so much good things of life and more prosperity than any other country and more power than other countries. And he wants to make everybody equal. And we don't want to be equal to all the poor countries. And we don't want our guys to have to compete with people making products in Vietnam who work for 28 cents an hour.
Well, it's not fair trade when we have all the regulations and bureaucracy and shutting down our power plants, and they go to Vietnam with no regulations, dumping the toxic waste right in the river. And this is all about Cloward and Piven making us dependent. In closing, spend a few minutes on the attack on the family. It's so naked now. The attack on women, the attack on manhood. I mean, the MSNBC, I'm sure you've seen their promo where they say, your kids now belong to the state. I mean, these people are really being naked about their takeover. Why do you think that is?
Well, they're feeling that they've won, and they want to sock it to us. And the only way we can remain a free country is if parents are in control of their children, not the government. And if we are able to elect congressmen and representatives who believe in limited government, lower taxes, and letting people spend their own money, and instead of the government spending it. And these are the issues that are so important in the upcoming elections this year. And I urge everybody to go into the primaries, where I hear people say in November, well, I don't like the guy on either party. Well, that's your fault that you weren't in there in the primaries getting the right guy on the ballot, because he's not going to get elected unless he's on the ballot. Well,
it's definitely a lesser of two evils, and I've never even been of that view, but the Democrats are going for total broke. The Republican leadership's trying to kill the Tea Party. We've got to get behind the Tea Party, which you're a proto-founder of, across the board. But I think about my grandmothers and how they interact with my grandfathers. Three of my grandparents are gone. One of them's still here. They weren't subservient women, but they were on a team in that family, and that family came first, and they were powerful, effective, smart women that, would read to me for hours in the summer when I was visiting them, and who were super smart and had, multiple degrees.
Oh, they could read?
Yeah, they could read, and they wanted a strong family. And I remember my grandmother, reading me when Ulysses comes home and everything and his house has been taken over, kind of an example of what's happened to America. But they were just such strong, powerful women compared to what women are today. And they call this modern thing a feminist, and it's the complete opposite of an empowered woman. Notice the feminists say don't let women own guns. I mean, it's just so insane to see how they are destroying men, they're destroying women. All the things they're getting away with. It's so disgusting to see women becoming married to the state, basically.
That's right, because when you don't set up the family, a traditional man and woman where the man is the provider and protector, and then all these babies appear, you look to Big Brother government to support you. And that's not the kind of country we want.
Well, you're supposed to put the load on the men so they compete and make a stronger society. Not say men are nobodies, they're idiots. Women, you're in charge with the state. And, of course, everything falls apart. I mean, look at illegitimacy in the black community. Less than 10% before the Great Society in the 60s. These are mainline numbers. Now upwards of 90%. And that same system's being deployed. It is a system-wrecking program. We're going to plug the website one more time, but I want to play you the clip since you mentioned it. Here is Obama saying, I've got a phone, I've got a pen.
We are not just going to be waiting for legislation in order to make sure that we're providing Americans the kind of help that they need. I've got a pen and I've got a phone. And I can use that pen to sign executive orders and take executive actions and administrative actions that move the ball forward.
And then since we were mentioning MSNBC and promo saying your kids belong to him, here's Melissa Harris Perry, going from memory on her name, on there saying, we need to get over this idea that your kids belong to you. They belong to the collective, a bunch of control freaks. And again, at the level of MSNBC hosts, they are known technocrats with a scientific sociological takedown program. I've read their textbooks. These are cold-blooded culture killers. Let's play that clip and then get Phyllis Schlafly's take on it.
So part of it is we have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents or kids belong to their families and recognize that kids belong to whole communities. Once it's everybody's responsibility and not just the households, then we start making better investments.
And once they get you into government health care, they're going to run your life because, well, we're all having to pay for your health care. Phyllis?
If you let Obama appoint any more judges, you know, the Ninth Circuit said that parents' rights to control their own children stops at the threshold of the school door, and the schools take over. And we cannot allow that to happen.
It's unbelievable. Every nightmare visited upon the Soviet Union and other collectivist hellholes is now manifesting. In closing, and I appreciate you coming on, what is your gut level about this battle? How bad's it going to get? I mean, I know we're going to win in the end, but how hellish is this going to get?
Well, I think the elections this year are absolutely crucial. They may be the most important elections of our time. And I urge everybody to go into, especially the Republican primaries, and make sure you get good guys on the ballot so that when we come to November, you've got a good guy to vote for. You're not standing around saying, I don't like either guy on either party.
It's time to get really aggressive and run for city council, run for county commissioner, run for water commissioner, get in the PTA, fight it.
And then, Alex, go on Eagle Forum's website because we will have a list of endorsed candidates for the Senate and the House, and that might be helpful to you in deciding who to vote for. Absolutely,
and that's eagleforum.org. We've only got 30, 40 seconds left. What's it been like? You're 89. What's it been like, Phyllis, battling this hard? Is it satisfying?
Well, yes. I hope that a lot of good people are active in politics so that we can keep this self-governing country and not let it slip through our fingers and get away from us.
All right. God bless you. Thank you for all you do.
God bless.
There goes Phyllis Schlafly. Wow. I mean, it's just like I tried to stop Obamacare and I got called a racist. And I'm trying to stop the total end of our borders that the big banks want, and I'm a racist. I mean, man, I want people in Africa, in Latin America, in Asia, in Europe to be literally bathing in wealth, space stations, whole 9 yards, okay? I want you to succeed. I'm desperately trying to stop forced artificial shots in Mexico, sterilizing all those people down there. The globalists want to hurt everybody, folks. The globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic super male vitality formula sourced from powerful organic herbs and then concentrated for maximum potency. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. For a limited time, we are offering 15% off Super Male Vitality at InfoWarsLife.com to introduce you to this powerful supplement. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality. InfoWarsLife.com.